Hello everyone, Siege Link here, back with the next game of Surreal vs. We Want BBQ. So next we're going to have Dallycat. And I personally don't know him. It's going to be a ZVP. So if Heroku loses this, I'm going to be playing in my best matchup at least. I think from my POV, I think Zergs are probably the best to deal with cannon rushes. I think it depends on like how quick you scout the cannon rush, because if it's PvP, you can instantly throw down your own forge and get your own cannons. But even then, I don't feel like that's like a hard counter by any means. So, CVP, we'll see how this goes. Spawning in the bottom left, representing Surreal. Getting closer to an all kill, it is Heroku. In the top left, playing for We Want BBQ, it is Dallycat. Which I swear at some point I'm gonna pronounce it wrong and call it Dallycat, because that just sounds like a proper name to me. That just sounds like a good name. Rolls off the tongue really well. Dallycat also kind of does, just not quite as much. I keep doing this because I just don't want to keep my hands still, like jittery. So, no hatch block. Looks like we're gonna have the good old hatch gas pool. Interestingly, rallying the Overlord right on top of the hatch. Just gonna bounce around a little bit. Can't really like deny a pool because you can put it kind of anywhere back here, or maybe even not back there if you want, like here. This is more like a Reaper block, so the Reaper kind of has to funnel through here. You never really see Zerg's Reaper block, I would say. He's gonna keep his probe here, so we're gonna see a proxy. He's got a Zealot on the way, and I don't think that's a full wall off. I'm not certain. I don't play on this map too much. There's this ant that keeps crawling around my entire desk. I haven't really wanted to kill him because he's never gotten in my way. And it's also kind of just funny when, for some reason, his suction cups don't really hold up that well, so when he's climbing up the wall behind my monitor, he just falls down. In fact, at one point, there was actually an ant in my bathroom that I saw fall like 10 times, and it's to the point where I just grabbed a piece of like paper towel. I was like, let me help you here, buddy. Let me help. Oh, nope. He fell again. And he was walking away from it. I was like, no, dude, I want to help you here. Come on. So, everything kind of standard right now. Okay, I can use my arrow keys as well if I want. Can't use the WASD though, which makes sense. So Sentry Zealot. So no Stalker, no Adapt quite yet either. So 2 gates before production. And Sentry killing Overlord. Overlords are slow enough. Sentries kill slow, Overlords move slow. So who will win? In this case, it's easily going to be the Sentry, because they wanted to get in and kill it. Probe's going to scout this third base. I don't think there's any lings yet. Actually, yeah, that Overlord kill actually cost him a little bit. So he's got 2 queens, and that's it. Which are technically army units, but they're kind of like, it's almost like an army unit that acts as almost like an add-on to a hatchery, rather than like an add-on to a Terran building. He's only got one Adept, though, so he's not going to be able to one-shot the drones. The Adept might get some good damage, but not too good, especially if he's not target firing. Yeah, looks like the Adept might not get anything done here, because he's actually not controlling it. So yeah, that was 0 damage done. Not a single worker killed, and just threw away an Adept. So that's definitely very good for Heroku here. And just now building Lings. He went semi-greedy here, making just one queen at each base, but well read, I think, from his perspective. He saw the base, he saw the wall off, and he kind of thought his opponent was going to go pretty defensive, and he did. So 4 gates, Robo, and Charge on the way. His Lings shouldn't do anything but just scout. Oh, one got through. That is not a single unit wall off there. He's not going to be able to kill anything, though, so I think just getting the scouting done is pretty huge. Robo, Twilight, sees it researching something. He's got 8 roaches on the way. Warp Prism on the way as well, so... Yeah, this is definitely one of the scenarios where I really would want to see these bases connected up with creep. When players just bring in Warp Prism from side to side. Layers here, no layer tech quite yet. Warping in more and more zealots. It looks like he might go almost pure zealot here. This is something out of this would make Haz proud. Surprising because my team's the Haz clan. We're the cheesy guys. This is, I think, probably, if anything, the most common, like, at least follow-up Haz build past, like, a cannon rush, which is just mass zealots. It rarely works, though. The big question is, where are the roaches going to be? They're going to be right in the middle, so it's going to immediately pull them. Now, they do have charge, so looks like it'll be cleaned up. I feel like he has enough zealots to be able to push in, though. Okay, he's going to wait and get some stalkers going. Sends one roach to scout. This is when having just a few lings would really help. Now, he is quite heavily ahead on workers, though. So at this point, Heroku definitely does not want to make any drones. Now, he doesn't know that this is, like, necessarily an all-in. He doesn't know that there's no third behind it. Okay, he does now see what these overlords need. He definitely needs to make a bunch of overlords, though, and that he's way ahead of me, thankfully. There's a few stuck in the mid-map, though. And with the Warp Prism, you can see them on the high ground, so if he just goes around and picks those off, that's going to be pretty huge. But I think Heroku's got enough to defend this. He's got charge, so just having a few links to kind of soak that up would be nice. He's getting +1 range, though, so every second he delays, even though he's killing his overlords, and that's very nice, it's buying time for this. It's about 20 seconds or so. And he's going over creep. That's a decently big mistake. He's getting a lot of Ravagers. That's definitely a smart move. A little late, though. Really bad timing for him, and he's also sending guys there. So it looks like, and he's also not shooting and moving. That's also a pretty big mistake. He's used the Ravager Biles, and wait, did he really not? Okay, I was about to say he definitely did not cancel that Warpin. That would definitely be a huge mistake. Really needs to be kiting with these Ravagers. Okay, making more and more roaches. That timing on the Ravagers was really unlucky for Rax. And despite being knocked down to 2 bases, he is still ahead economically, so this isn't quite over yet. Yeah, he's just now making lings. Even if lings die very quickly to the charge loss, you're at least tanking a lot of shots. He's going to recall. I feel like that's... Yeah, it's a bit of a mistake considering he's leaving a few just to die for nothing. He's got a 3rd base on the way, and he's not making a 3rd base behind this. He's got... The Protoss has gas banked up, not any real minerals banked up. The Zerg has minerals banked up, but no real gas. 2 Stargates. That I feel like... Okay, yeah. Him moving across the map here is a smart move. I'm glad he does that, because... Please do, please do. Because double Stargate's actually a really good idea, because how much he's going on Roach and Ling. And he's also not really caring about scouting. This is, I think, one of the biggest mistakes I've seen from my teammates, is that they don't ever do follow-up scouting. After, like, the first worker scout, they never scout, and that has cost them a lot of games. Okay, yeah, definitely attacking here is a smart move because he's got double void ray. It would have been a lot better if he just moved command over here because he would pretty much kill the Nexus and all the workers before void rays would pop. But with the chrono on the void rays, that's going to cost him pretty poorly. And he's not microing his roaches over here. He needs to target that Cyberborg. Is that? Definitely too close there. Thankfully a Stalker walked into it. Okay, he didn't expect the void rays, and that's going to cost him here quite heavily. Because he's, like I said, he doesn't have any lair tech. He's just now got Hydrogen, but it's super late. Definitely should have gotten that, I think, a little bit earlier. He was trying to defend against the all-in, but I think the biggest mistake is just not doing any follow-up scouting. Like, if he went in there with an Overlord, he would have either stayed at his base, made some spores, or he would have attacked a lot earlier. Another big mistake, he's only sending his Hydras one by one. This is close, but I think because he's not pulling his guys back, I think Heroku's going to lose this. Heroku's not using links, he's not got any melee units, and he's not, like, shooting and moving at all, and that's definitely his biggest mistake here. If he shot and moved this game, there was no chance that Protoss could do anything. He's not dead quite yet, but it's actually around equal. Don't move in, don't move in, don't move in. Just back up and wait for your guys. They're all about to pop. Some roads are popping in over here, some coming in here. They're all coming in from all different angles, and I think that's going to cost them. Yeah, that should be game here. If he scouted those void rays, he definitely would have won this. But no follow-up scout, and that was definitely a huge mistake that I've seen way too many times from my team. I think I would say over 50% of the time in games, if it hits the mid-game, they don't scout. Yeah, I will as well. Like, I don't want to go full, like, Gordon Ramsay on my team, but, like, I really just am so infuriated because my teammates keep making the same mistakes over and over. Like, I think I've seen that in, like, 10 games or so, where they don't do a follow-up scout. And on top of that, if they did do a follow-up scout, they would have won. In that game, the biggest thing I was confused about is why wasn't Heroku shooting and moving? Like, he had almost pure zealots. In fact, he did have pure zealots at the start. If he uses roaches, shot, move back, he loses like 70 times less. Especially because he had no links, so there was no reason not to shoot and move. So that'll be it for that game. We're down 3-2, and I've got to win 2 in a row. So I'll see you guys in the next game.